Well, it appears Snyder Cut news continues to roll around, even though it's pretty much all the same stuff. Apologies for my voice. I am once again under the weather. Starting to be a bit of a concern because it keeps happening. Yeah. But that's my problem, not yours. Anyway, so here, this is a couple of days ago. This was put out on Cosmic Book News. Released the Snyder's Cut, still happening on HBO Max. A recent report offers that Release the Snyder Cut isn't happening on HBO Max or getting a theatrical release, with claims that it's a pipe dream. However, that is not the case at all. Yeah, this was a, okay, here it goes. Variety recently posted an article on the future of DC films, which told us nothing we didn't already know. Yeah, that's right. It was a bunch of stuff that had been heard before, and they were rehashing it as if that was some, new information or what have you, when it clearly wasn't, and seemed to be completely ignorant of statements by the likes of Snyder himself, and Jason Momoa, and Oliva, and so on and so forth. So, it's clear they haven't done their homework, or whatever. So, they had a source, anonymous sources. There's little appetite at the studio for spending the millions of dollars it would require to finish visual effects and editing work on Snyder's version. Well, now he puts here, Jason Momoa recently confirmed that he has seen Snyder's version and that Zack finished it. Well, he said he saw it and that, he liked it. He didn't say conclusively that it was finished. It's just a guy had asked him, well, isn't it half done, or there were scenes not finished and digital work needing to be done or what have you. And Momoa said, you don't think Zack Snyder can finish his movie? And he left it at that because he's not supposed to really even be talking about it at all. But Momoa is a big WB star at the moment because of the success of his Aquaman film. So he has some amount of leeway, but you can imagine discussing something in total about where the Snyder Cut is and what have you, and what form or fashion it's in, would be a violation of whatever NDA he probably has signed way back when. So, not supposed to talk about that. So, it goes ahead to, regarding the little appetite that is plain wrong as well, as Warner Brothers is well aware, well, man, you gotta proofread your articles here, buddy, aware of the social media response for released the Snyder Cut that reached millions of people, and they had the Twitter storm for the anniversary of the release of Justice League to put out the hashtag release the Snyder Cut. So it would be quite a huge card for them to play for their streaming service. Now, it's only one movie, but it's an event to build up and get them in, and for the hopes that someone who subscribes just to see that movie would look around and say, well, they got this, they got that. And especially for their DC fans, when they've got their Green Lantern series coming along and stuff like that. And then for the best bet, they would want to have some kind of promo for that while they're watching, Snyder Cut, booting it up and what have you. So I suppose there's people in there who just don't like it at all. There's people that are upset. There were egos bruised and whatnot of the whole disaster of Justice League, and then to have to go back to this Snyder version to get it released. I guess that's what it is. I don't know, but the idea that there's nothing there at all is just absurd, and it's more than likely is not. I don't think it would cost millions. It may be a couple of million. And for all we know, it's already been done. I mean, Snyder himself says it's done. Now, what does he mean by that? Did he mean that the photography is done and all that? Don't know, but it sounded like he was pretty complete about it. And then Momoa insinuating, not quite saying, yes, he completed it, but said, you don't think Zack Snyder couldn't do that? Which seemed to indicate that Zack Snyder completed the visual effects on his own. So I just don't know. Which also brings the thing, let's say this thing gets released, and I'm really still hoping it comes out on Blu-ray, because I would like to see, which it probably will never get that, would be a full-on, honest documentary of what the hell went on here. You know? At the very least, if that's what the deal was, that Zack Snyder completed this on, that would be an interesting thing to see as well. You know, the whole story. And of course, Grace Randolph has been quite a cheerleader for this as well. And she speaks to it. And she was talking about the goings-ons behind the scenes, and that what gets released is not always up front and definite. It's similar to what Sony and Marvel in their little spat over Spider-Man. And then it seems, all is lost. And then all of a sudden, okay, we got a deal, you know? And so that's why you can't say this is done. There is no Snyder cut. And they would throw around Danny Elfman, who was not in a position to know anything about it. You know, he was brought in at the 11th hour to hurry up and whip out some music for the movie. So that's not a source to say, well, he said there's no Snyder cut. Well, he wasn't involved in it. So anyway, there you go. So more than likely, it's not, it's done. There's absolutely no way it would ever appear on HBO Max. That's just not true. It's still, more than likely it would be. And of course it would make sense for them to do it. So we'll see, of course. But to me, this is back and forth. And also, I guess in a means by which it keeps stories going. And of course, yes, it's clickbaity and what have you. But it's constantly saying that there's nothing there or it's so costly to do. I'm not really buying. The only other likely discussion of how expensive things could get is the pay for the performers in it. And I forget the guy's name. Was it Burnett or somebody was suggesting that? Now people attacked him, say, you hate the Snyder cut or what have you. And he said, no, I'd like to see it, you know, if he could. But he's bringing up the problems of the contracts and whatnot. Are they going to have to be new? Do they have to, yeah, that could be a bit of a headache, but by now we're not in the know. That's probably already dealt with. I mean, it's been 2 years since the release of the theatrical version. And so that's a lot of time of stuff going on. And no one can say up front, hey, here's what we're doing. Again, NDAs and whatnot. And it also comes in to what their ultimate plans are for going forward with their DC films. And then all of a sudden they've got this movie here. Now, see, the problem is with all we do know about plot from no less than Snyder himself about where the movie was going to go is that it leaves it open for follow-up films to continue the story. Well, those films aren't coming unless, let's say the Snyder Cut is on HBO Max and it's a smash hit, you know, and there's all this excitement about it. But then it's done, you know, Affleck is out, Henry Cavill may or may not be out. All they've got left is Wonder Woman and Aquaman for a future Justice League franchise. That sort of thing, but people might want to see more of this version, you know, if that, or a substantial amount, enough to suggest that it's worth the investment, you know. And so that kind of puts a bit of a wrinkle in whatever plans they got going already, bringing in other people. Who knows what J.J. Abrams is going to do, and I'm very nervous about that. The Matt Reeves movie is clearly its own thing. And I don't know that they're even going to fold that into a shared universe deal, you know. So it gets a bit complicated, but of course, again, this might be more evidence that they're just going to go for broke and embrace the DC multiverse concept. And that, yeah, we'll just have these multiple versions of the same character. Could be. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. Snyder Cut is apparently still alive and kicking for the time being. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe and check out that link description below. That, you know, it'll take you to my stores. It's got stuff for you. There you go. Buy yourself something nice. Again, thank you for watching and listening.